Okay, so now we've got that bit out of the way, I'm going to show you how we are going to make a book with some fancy edging. So this one I want to split in half. I don't know if any of you have been shown how to do this, so I will do it on like now so that you can see just how very simple it is. So I need this quite narrow so that it doesn't cut off these two bits, and then I'm going to grab both and centralize it. And all I've got to do is make sure this one is the top layer from this one. I've made sure it's in the middle, and the part that I want to separate, the shape is over, because I mean I don't need it to be this big. It can come right down, but I'm just making sure that I'm covering where I need it to be. And then if you do both and you do subtract and then divide, and then that's it, you've got two separate shapes. So then we're going to bring on a rectangle, and this one I want it to be, I'm going to untick that because I want it to be 4 by 3. I think it's that way round. Okay, I want it the other way round. Sorry guys. 3 by 4. Okay, there we go. Now that is just a page, but then the next thing I need to do is curve it a little so that it looks a bit more authentic. So what we're going to do, I'm going to bring this shape down, because remember you can always use all the shapes in Scan and Cut, and it will help you do loads. I need to bring that up a little bit, not too much. You don't want too much of a curve. Layer, duplicate, because we're going to need one down here in a minute, but we'll do that in a minute. I just want to make sure I've got this one right. I think it should go up a little bit. Okay, let's try that. So then what you do, you grab them two and weld. Yeah, that's perfect. And then we're going to take this bottom one and do just a nice little curve underneath. Just want it a little bit. Just fiddle around with it until you're happy, but make sure before you do that that you arrange and send the main page to the back, and then subtract, and there you have it. So on the sides of this page I want this pattern, so I'm just going to turn it round. I'm not even looking at where I am. No, 270 it would be. I don't know why I do this to myself. It's so much easier just to put the numbers in. And then I'm going to go close up because I want to make sure I get it at the perfect size. So that it fits on. I'm going to fit it about there, I think. And then as we come to the other side, okay, we need to come out a little bit. I'll use the what's happening? Okay, so I'm just going to check something. Right, I just want to go through some. I'm just going to, sorry, I want to show you something, and I'll do it first and then I'll show you what I mean. I don't know if you noticed, but that page was ungrouped, was grouped together. So if we was to weld this, if you have a look, you'll see all the little bits of the shape will go away. And that is because it's not been taken out. So I'm just going to go backwards. Taken out, that sounds awful, doesn't it? So what we're going to do, we're going to layer, ungroup. Now it's all done, we're going to remove overlap. you'll see the line. Oh, it's going to misbehave again. Oh, and I'll tell you what happened there. It's good all these mistakes are happening. So where I've collected them all and it's done it again when I've removed overlap, I'll tell you what's happened there. Is that the main shape, I'll go back again, this main outline is at the front. So we need to arrange and send to the back. And then if we highlight it all again and remove overlap, you see the lines got darker. Click off, pull it away, and now that's all one piece. We can get rid of all these, and then when we weld, the holes will stay. So obviously that's what we need. Let's go back out, display, zoom to mat size, and now we're going to duplicate it and flip it so that we've got the page on the other side. And then what I want to do is grab both of them and do through the middle, so across the middle, so that they're in the same place. And now we've got to decide how far across. I'm going to zoom in again because I want to weld them together, but I want to make sure there we go. I think that's enough. I like a column in the middle of my books. If you don't want the column, then just move it all the way across like this. But I like a little column in my books. Because the spine is what a book has. Right, I moved it, so I'm just going to make sure it's back again. And weld. So we'll come out, display, zoom to mat size. So there's our main little book. The reason I'll tell you now, the reason I like a spine is because I like that you can close it and put it in an envelope. You put a little something on the front, just something very basic, which we will do when we get to the craft table, and go from there. So now I'm going to offset. I've got this ready, but I'll just go through it with you. I want it inward, and I want it at about 40. You could go a bit less than that, but not too much. Round, because the rounded curves. And you say, okay. It's taken a while. Okay, that's weird. I didn't think about that. It's done these little lines on the side, but we can soon get rid of that. I'll show you how. If we highlight it so that we're closer, click, wait, click. That brings up all these. Now we don't need these. So what I'm going to do is just highlight all of them. And minus, straight line. And we'll do the same there. And I'm just going to check that everything else is okay. Highlight all of them and minus. Sometimes when you join things together, it's a little bit too many nodes. And I'm going to get rid of them ones as well, because we need a straight line across. Sometimes when there's too many nodes, it interferes with the cutting. Right, let's just get rid of what we know there. So I don't think we necessarily need them, do we? Okay, so we need this one, but we don't need this one. Or these two. So I've held one, then you hold down shift and you click on the other two, because we want it to go straight down. So hold shift and you can click on as many as you like. Oh, Yeah, I think so. That's a one that's not needed there. And if you do get a lot that you don't need, all it does, see, the machine is reading the nodes, so it's going from point to point. Now with a curve you do need quite a few along the way. You don't necessarily need that many, but the more you have, the more the blade has to go and jutter. So it's a lot easier if you can get rid of as many nodes as you can. Right, I'm quite happy with that. So now it's straight. Display, zoom to matte size. So now we've got another sheet there. Now before we carry on, I'm just going to do another one. Do it a little less. So I'm doing it at 0.28. And then obviously you do as many sheets as you like. I just like to have a couple personally. But with this one, I also want to decorate it with these. So I'm going to duplicate each one. Let me try and think. So these ones can go on the bottom. And a lot smaller. So should we go in again? Obviously they need knock into the side. And you don't want too much of it out. A bit more maybe? Yeah, I think that's about right. So what I'm going to do, instead of trying to resize the other one, I think what I'll do is I will duplicate it and flip it to do the other side. So it's already sized okay. Let's get the whole book in the picture so I can see it properly. Maybe this one can come out a little bit more. And this one needs to go up a little bit more. Okay, I think that's about right. So let's try that and see what that looks like. So gather it all and, well, there we go. See, I didn't want too much, but sometimes not enough is not good either, is it? Now these ones, they do need to be flipped vertically first. And then we will size it down again. So then again, I'm going to layer and duplicate and just flip it. So we know we are the same. Now let's just check we've got most of it spot on. Yeah. So what I'm doing is seeing where I'm going across the line. So this point is here, I can see it's also there. So I know that I'm okay. And again, we whirled. And there we go. So, display, zoom to matte size, and that's the middle one. And then this one I would just leave plain. Now it's up to you to decide if you want to cut them out of already, sorry, it's the program I'm using to record. I'll get on that afterwards. It's up to you to decide whether to cut out of patterns paper or colour it yourself or stencil it or whatever from there. But we'll cut these bits out, and then because I want to do some stamping and decorating over at the craft table. So we will do that afterwards. I will see you over there. Hi everyone, I'm over at the craft table now. I've got some stamps I want to use. I've done cutting out of my book pages. I'm just going to put the folds in. Because I do want a spine, like I said. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I want some glitter along the top and bottom of this, and then I'm going to foil around the edge of that. So, because I only want it on the top and bottom, I don't want to do too much. I'm going to use tape and put the glitter on that way. I think it'll be a bit easier. Okay, for the glitter, I'm just going to use crystal clear, I think, because I don't want it too in your face. Okay, like I said, I don't want it too in your face. And now the foiling, I'm going to use gold foiling. Okay, you should really wait for it to dry. I've rubbed it in so it's quicker, but I've still probably not waited long enough. Let's give it a go. I've probably gone too quick, but I've got to be honest, I kind of like it like that. So that it's... So what I'm going to do now is use foam tape, and I am going to just stick some down the centre.
put that together. And then if we just curl it a little bit to give it the actual page curl. You can put pad just underneath here that will lift it up automatically, but you need the curl for it to come back down. So I always just curl. Okay, and then we're going to have this one. Now this one I want to stamp a couple of bits on, and then we'll put some flowers. So I've got just this happy birthday to you. It's generic and I'll use that, but obviously I'd imagine you've got a particular thing you want to do. So like I've done red if it's a ruby anniversary, or because I'd imagine you do this for something particularly special. So the papers I've used, this paper is from a works pad. It is English Moments. So it's all like roses and things like that. It's lovely. And you don't mind paying £3, do you? Well, I think they've gone up a little bit now actually, but not by much. So I'm going to stamp it in heat embossing, and I'm going to do gold embossing. So let's just, I want to do this first so it stamps out neatly. Sticky pad. And I just want that right in the middle. Remember, don't push too hard because you'll squeeze it and then it will blur. There we go, just it fits quite nicely actually. I've worked that out quite well. So then rather than keep using heat embossing, I've got a gold ink pad, and I thought because there's butterflies on the design sheet, I've got a little butterfly stamp that will go nicely. And what I'll do, gold ink pad, just going to stamp it because I haven't used it before. That's it, right, now we can stamp. And I'm going to go around the page, the outside of the whole page. I like doing that with stamping, and I just doesn't have to have the whole thing, just a bit, and you just go around the whole page with all different bits. And you can do second generation, so some are a bit darker, some are a bit fainter. It all works lovely. Okay, so that's that. And then I'm just going to get me flowers and do an arrangement on there. And then I've got a nice little bird hovering over that I might put on there as well. So I've got lots of little flowers that I can use. And when I'm doing a display like this, I prefer to use glue gel, do a blob, and just make it up from there. I'll show you what I mean. So I'll just do a nice blob in the middle where I want the flowers to be. The downside to that is you've got to wait for it to dry, but they might be a bit too big, so I'm not going to use them. Okay, so we can have a bit of pink and deep red and some white, I'd say. That one's already got one going like that, so we'll have that one. If you don't know how to do it, all you need is something, like I always use my pokey tool. I start at the top, hold it, and just wrap it round. And you get a nice curl, and then you can pull it out a bit if you wanted to. So if I do one going the other way, so that we've got two, and then the other ones I'm going to snip them off because it's easier. Use a little bit of stalk because you can stick it in and make sure it's stuck well. We'll do another pink and white so that we've got two of each flower. And then, just as a nice added decoration, I've got some of these. And if you just fold them and twist, then you can put them anywhere you like. And they can be sticking out. And I'll do one in the top like that. If you're having trouble getting it in, just use your pokey tool. Like that. There we go. Maybe it would look nice with a bit more greenery in this one. There we go. But I kind of like that. So it ends up like that. And now if you want to put the bird on, I don't actually think it needs it personally. But you could put the bird on. So now we just need a little bit of ribbon that's going to go with that. So let's see. Let's do a bit of pink and red. So my personal would be to do pink, like that, with red on top. So we need to stick at the back. I'm just going to use this. Should have done the ribbon first, really, because now I'm messing around with this. There we go. And then you could even use, I was thinking about putting some of them down there, but I think it might be too much actually. But you could do that, or a pearl chain or something like that. And then again, stick it on and curl the pages a little bit. And there you have your book. So there we go. And then if you want to add more, you add more or less, however you like to do it. But that's an idea, making your own book. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.